If you are stuck, please listen to this video. A lot of times I feel like being stuck could mean knowing what you need to do and not doing it, or not knowing what to do and be knowing where to even start. So let's break that down. Talk about being stuck and chasing your goals, or stuck in life in general, and let's just go through it together and process it. Now, this is just what I know off of my situation. And I'm going to try and help you the best I can off of my situation and make it a more general thing so you can kind of understand, and hopefully it helps you through it so we can kind of process it together and you can move on with your life or move on with your goals, whatever it is that you may have going on. So let's talk about it. So when you're stuck, okay, a lot of times when people are stuck, it means that you know what you need to do and you're not doing it, or you're choosing to not do something because you're kind of comfortable with where you are in life, or you're comfortable and you say, okay, I'll do it later, but now feels scary. So let's talk about how that's hurting you more in the long run. I think something a lot of people don't realize is that when you need to do something, nothing is going to feel okay. It's not ever going to be comfortable. You're never going to be okay with making a change because it's uncomfortable. But like in my last video, we talked about why uncomfortability is good for you and the change that it can bring. Stop telling yourself, okay, I'm going to do it later when I'm ready to do something. Or, okay, I'm going to be ready to do something. And then 50 years down the line, you have no idea what happened with the last 50 years and you stuck, bro. Just do the things you need to do to become unstuck. And let me tell you why you may feel stuck, bro. A lot of times people feel stuck because they feel like they're incapable of doing something, or they feel like they're incapable. You're not incapable of doing anything. There's a reason that thought is in your head. There's a reason why you have the vision that you have. You're stuck because you keep choosing what's comfortable over what's uncomfortable, okay? Stop choosing what's familiar over what's unfamiliar. Comfort will blatantly lie to you. And if I'm being honest here, comfort is the reason why 90% of these people in the world are stuck in the position that they feel like they're so unhappy, and they're like, oh, I just don't like this job. Oh, I don't like being where I'm going to be, so I'm going to start doing my own thing. And then it's time for the own thing to happen, or time for the work to get done, and nobody does anything. And that's where being stuck happens, bro. So what you have to realize is that if you're stuck 9 times out of 10, it's because of your own actions. Now, let me go back a little bit and say, if you're stuck in a job and you know you have to have that job and there's really no other way, there's no wiggle room for you to figure anything else out, that's a stuck that's like, okay, I'm going to figure something out. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be stuck. But like eventually an opportunity will arise and you'll be like, I'm taking this and it's going to help me become more unstuck. But sometimes people just genuinely are stuck. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, but just know something will happen. Something will shift and you will get that chance to kind of wiggle yourself out and become unstuck. Bro, comfort lies to you, okay? And let me tell you how. It tells you to wait. It tells you, oh yeah, we good. You good right here. Just chill. It tells you to be patient. But all that is avoiding change, bro. You have to realize this is what comfort was made for. Comfort is what it is when I'm sitting back on that couch, you feel what I'm saying? Watching TV, chilling, you feel what I'm saying? Cutting up. And I know I need to be doing something. And I'm like, oh, I'll go do it later. When if I really acted on it now, in the moment, I could literally be helping myself and bringing myself further into what I need to be doing. But really, comfort's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm going to avoid that change. I'm going to avoid that uncomfortability. Chase uncomfortability. I promise you, in the moment it sucks. In the moment it feels like it's going to last forever. But I promise you, you will become comfortable in the uncomfortable. And that is when you hit flow state, okay? Because you're in the grind. You're really doing it. You're flowing, everything's just coming right, pause, and you're just like uncomfortable. But uncomfortability is a good thing. Do not be comfortable with being comfortable. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Don't avoid change, run into it. You feel what I'm saying? And stop waiting on the perfect moment to arise. Stop telling yourself, oh yeah, when this lines up, I'm gonna do this perfectly. Or when this lines up, I'm gonna do this perfect. Make the perfect moment yourself. Stop sitting here telling yourself that you're going to wait for this to happen, or you're going to wait for your buddy to hit you up, or I'm going to wait for my perfect body. And because it's never going to happen, bro. Point blank period. It's never going to happen. You have to create the perfect moment. You have to create the moment where you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to do it until it happens. A lot of people, I feel like, will say, oh yeah, I'm going to wait for this to. A lot of people I've talked to literally say, oh, I'm just waiting on this to happen so I can do this right here. Oh, I'm just waiting on this to happen so I can go do this with this person. Gang, not gonna happen. Create the moment yourself. Force yourself into that position and make it happen. Because being uncomfortable and waiting on something to happen, like I said, you will wait for the rest of your life. And I promise you, you don't want to do that. I am 27 years old and I still sometimes think, man, I wish I would have started when I was 20 years old and just had that grit and persistence. Just go make it happen, bro. I will choose failure over regret any day of the week. And to add on to this, most people aren't confused. They're just hesitant. A lot of people are waiting on the information to come. A lot of people are waiting on these things to happen, and you don't need to wait. You just need to go seek the information out yourself, and then you can go, or you can create the information yourself to make it happen. And if it needs to be corrected along the way, it'll kind of automatically correct itself, or somebody will come out and tell you, hey, this is this, and this, and then it'll correct itself. But when you are just getting reps in, boom, 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 you're automatically kind of molding yourself and forming yourself into who you want to be, but you don't even realize it because you're in the flow state. You feel what I'm saying? And I think every single person in the world can tell you this. The longer you wait, the harder it is to get out of something. I don't know if you've heard this saying or not, but the longer you wait to get off the train, the more expensive it is to come back, or something like that. Okay? So the longer you wait in life to chase your goals, the harder it's going to be to achieve them, but more so because you're not going to have as much time, because when you grow up, you have more responsibilities. You have more things to do. So you're not going to have as much time to pour into yourself like you would if you were single, or if you didn't have a family, or if you have a family. So don't wait all your life telling yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and then nothing ever happens. You just might as well start now not knowing anything, so that way you have a year of progress, and you would be surprised at what can change in a year. I'm not saying your life will change in a year. I'm not saying that if you lock in for a year, your entire life will change. But what I am telling you is that I would rather have a year worth of progress of me kind of knowing than a year of nothing to show that I didn't do anything for myself. Because like I've said thousands of times, I would rather have a year worth of failures than a year worth of regret, because regret hits so hard 7 days of the week and twice on Sunday, bro. I promise you, do not waste your whole life waiting, because now you're not just afraid of change, you're afraid of admitting wasted time. Don't waste your time, because time is valuable. Time is money. Time is something that you cannot get back. Every minute counts. There's 24 hours in a day, so what you do with every hour of every day matters. Now, if you have to work 8 hours a day, that's fine. Get that money, get that funding to boost whatever it is that you're doing, and then pour it into that, or pour it into your family, because time cannot be retrieved. It can only be used right. So what you do with your time matters, bro. And I don't think a lot of people realize that what you're doing with your time genuinely matters. And another thing that I had to realize, and something that I wanted to tell you guys, is that nobody's going to come and save you, bro. Nobody's going to come and tell you that, oh yeah, it's time to start. Nobody's going to come give you that little push on the shoulder, be like, hey, you know what you're supposed to be doing. It's up to you. That's why everybody says it's you versus you. You versus the person in the mirror. You have to keep yourself motivated. You have to keep yourself going. You have to keep yourself disciplined, because no one's going to come and save you, because no one else sees your vision. There's a reason it's your vision. There's a reason it's your dream. You feel what I'm saying? You have to stop wanting people to support you and wanting people to back your dream when they don't even know what they can't even see your dream. So once you realize that it's me versus me, you versus you, your whole life will change and your whole trajectory of how you're doing things will change and how you perceive things will change. Your tenacity will fire up a little bit. You'll be like, man, I really don't have anybody else in my corner. It's up to me to get this done. And to end, one uncomfortable decision can change everything. But you have to stop romanticizing your comfort and you have to stop romanticizing one day and just choose today, bro. I promise you, the decisions that you want to make, the life that you want to have, it's all attainable, but you have to stop saying one day and make the one day today. I promise you, your life will be drastically different in 5 to 6 years if you just choose one day today to start and don't look back, full speed ahead, because the only way through your problems is right head on.